The history of music is full of bright stars who burned out too fast. Hank Williams, Patsy Cline, John Denver. The list goes on and on. It's a hard life, drinking and carousing, performing night after night. And too many of our best and brightest have been taken from us at way too young an age. In fact, country music is such a deadly genre, it's easy to forget that there are some stars that have stuck by us. Not just past 27, but well into their 90s and beyond. While plenty of their peers are sitting by the TV watching Wheel of Fortune, many of these folks are still keeping busy. Whether they're performing in arenas or pursuing decades-long vendettas, these folks seem to have unfinished business up the wazoo. So in today's video, we're looking at the wild pasts and shocking presents of these still kicking musicians. Folks who have gone over the hill and kept on going. From walking living legends to hidden gems, these guys have seen a lot of stuff over the years. And they're making a strong case that age is just a number, even if it's a 3-digit one. Before we dive in, give this video a thumbs up to show us some support. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Alright, you ready? Well, come on and let's go find out. What happened? Willie Nelson. At 90 years old, Willie Nelson is a spring chicken compared to some of the names on this list. There's not much I can tell you about the red-headed stranger's storied career that you probably don't already know. But do you know what he's currently up to? Well, recently fans got some really shocking news. He had been found dead in the yard of his home in Hawaii. This was of course revealed to be a hoax, thank God. But the famous singer is currently 90 years old, and the more years go by, the more likely these hoaxes seem to be. But what's the real truth behind Willie's current state? Willie's image has been the victim of many death hoaxes that he felt compelled to write a song about. That pretty great song is called Still Not Dead. And it's true, Willie is still kicking. But that's not to say everything has been sunshine and roses. In 2019, Nelson had to cancel a number of concerts due to what would later be revealed as emphysema. And in 2021, he was briefly hospitalized after a bout of pneumonia. The guy's been dealing with so many issues, he's had to give up his famous favorite vice. That is, smoking the devil's lettuce. But luckily, he's still able to consume the substance in other forms. Because, great, I don't want to see Willie Nelson when he's not great and mellow. But luckily, Willie Nelson is still doing what he does best, performing. Seriously, he is on the road again, touring across the country with his classic band, maybe to a town near you. Billie Jean Horton. Billie Jean Horton is known more for her marriages than her own music. But she's also had a rich and fascinating career and life of her own. But what has become of this controversial gal? When she was 19, her boyfriend at the time introduced her to Hank Williams. This was probably a mistake, because she promptly broke up with him and dove headfirst into a relationship with the troubled troubadour. After his tragic death, Billie Jean went on to marry rockabilly legend Johnny Horton. But Horton too died tragically young from a car wreck. Then she had a famous affair with Johnny Cash. It seems she learned her lesson about dating musicians, because she went on to marry an insurance executive, although they too ended up divorcing. Billie Jean's tragic life inspired her 1961 record Ocean of Tears, which hit the top 40 charts. But for better or worse, she'll always be better known for her legendary entanglements. She has spent much of her life viciously protecting the images and estates of her famous husbands. Over the years, she's ferociously gone to war with conniving producers and executives who wish to represent Hank, and also Johnny's lives in movies and books to make a quick buck. But what is Billie up to today? Well, nothing too crazy. Billie Jean is 90 years old, living a quiet life in the assisted living facility. We wish her nothing but the best, and she's probably had enough excitement for many, many lifetimes. Bobby Osborne. Bobby Osborne is best known for his role in the legendary bluegrass group the Osborne Brothers. He's also a member of the Grand Ole Opry and the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame. But what's the real truth behind Bobby's life, and what is he up to today? Now, Bobby grew up in the sticks, quite literally in an unincorporated town called Thousand Sticks. That was in rural Kentucky, and there he dropped out of high school and taught himself to play music by listening to the Grand Ole Opry on the radio each night. Bobby Osborne is probably most well known for his band's recording of Rocky Top, notably the official state song of Tennessee, a state that has quite a bit of material to draw on.
Wish that I was on old Rocky Top down in the Tennessee hills.
But less people know that the band's performance of the song Kentucky is also a state song. Can you guess which state? Yup, South Dakota. Oh no, it's Kentucky. If that wasn't enough, Bobby was proud to serve his country in the Marine Corps during the Korean War. And pretty awesomely, Bobby is still working and performing with the energy of a man half his age. Bobby and his band, the Rocky Top Express, are shredding away at venues like the Grand Ole Opry, and Bobby teaches the mandolin at the Kentucky School of Bluegrass and Traditional Music in Hayden, Kentucky. Violet Hensley. Now, Violet Hensley might not be the most famous performer on this list, but she is well deserving of her spot for one simple reason. The musician is currently 106 years old. Of course, she's been retired since what? No, she's still making music? Holy smokes. Violet was born in a log cabin in Arkansas, the year 1916. The First World War still raging on. Back then, you couldn't just go to the store and buy whatever. Most things had to be handmade at home. And that includes musical instruments. Violet's father taught her how to build fiddles, and she's built hundreds of the instruments over the years. In her downtime, she has managed to raise 9 children and live all across the country. But it wasn't until 1967, amidst the folk music revival, that Violet's talents were recognized. And in the ensuing years, she appeared at the National Folk Festival and on TV shows like the Beverly Hillbillies, Captain Kangaroo, and even live with Regis and Kathy Lee. You might think that somebody who has seen an entire century go by, 100 years of the whips and scorns of time, would simply want peace and quiet. But Violet Hensley has not shown any sign of slowing down. She still performs to this day. And in a world of endless novelty and diminishing attention spans, Violet is a testament to the value of craftsmanship, tradition, and authenticity. Honorable mention, Loretta Lynn. Loretta Lynn had one of the longest careers in the history of country music. Over her long life, she was a model for women in country music, showing that you could simultaneously uphold traditional values while advocating for justice. Born in rural Kentucky in 1932, Loretta Lynn was indeed a coal miner's daughter. And over the next 6 decades, she released some of the most classic material in country music history. And pretty awesomely, in the 2010s, her career enjoyed a resurgence, and her 2016 album was nominated for a Grammy. The incredible Loretta Lynn passed away in October of 2022. The legend was 90 years old. They say that youth is wasted on the young, but the people on this list haven't wasted youth or old age. They have embraced life in all its forms. In times of good and bad, they continue to make music to soothe their souls and the souls of the world. Whenever you feel too young, too old, too tired, or weary to accomplish your goals, just take a look at these folks. I would say they've aged like a fine wine, but because this is country music, maybe a fine beer is more appropriate. Alright, now we need to hear from you. Who is your favorite musician from this list? Give me your favorite song from each of them. And did we forget any country music legend that's still with us? Get in the comments and let us know your thoughts. Before you head to the exits, please give this video a thumbs up to show us some support. Subscribe to our channel and come back often so we can keep telling you
what happened?